Morning and welcome to the Word According to Heaven Hollywood podcast. And Miss Rachel Nichols is what we're going to be discussing, is who we're going to be discussing, and the fallout over at ESPN behind the leaked or discovered audio of Rachel Nichols talking to a LeBron James personnel, I'd like to say, assistant or spokesperson. Now, this happened last year, and I just want to examine and we want to take a little dive into it and see, is Rachel Nichols really wrong for what she said? Or is it just the wrong person she said it about? You know, Rachel Nichols has been with ESPN a long time. You know, she started out, I believe, way back in the Washington Post, and she's been several other places. I believe she was on CNN. And now she is media or journalism royalty because I believe her husband is a journalist and her mother-in-law is the great Diane Sawyer. So Rachel Nichols pretty much got walked into this thing. Not saying she didn't deserve or earn what she did. She's worked hard. I've been watching Rachel Nichols for many years, and I've seen how she has grinded and came up, through the ranks. And being a female in a mostly male-dominated field, I wonder why Rachel Nichols did not feel any empathy towards Maria Taylor when she said what she said. I mean, Rachel, listen, is Rachel wrong for not wanting someone to take her job? Is she wrong for not wanting to do something else other than what she was contracted and told she would be doing? If you have a job and let's say you're working on a job and this is something that you're used to doing, and then your boss, someone is new, is hired, or not even new, someone else from the department that's been doing something else, the boss decides to come to you and say, hey, instead of, let's say, boxing the, let's say you're on a job, instead of keying in all of the items, why don't you box them? Hey, would you like to box the items? And you realize that there's a new person or another person within the organization that does not have the experience you have, in your opinion, don't have the talent you have, and they decide they're going to give them the keying job, and you're going to now, instead of keying a man, you're going to put him in the boxes. You wouldn't like that. So Rachel Nichols was pretty much, and I'm sure everyone's heard the audio by now, she pretty much was saying that, they are trying to give her other jobs because they want Maria to work the hosting job that she was told she would be doing. If Rachel Nichols just had said, you know what, they promised me this job, I've been at ESPN such and such amount of years, you know, I wish Maria all the best. If they want to give her other things to do, that's fine, but find it somewhere else. You're not going to take my thing away from me and give it to someone else when it's my job. If she said that and left out the whole race thing, no one would have a problem with Rachel Nichols. They can speculate that it's racial. They can speculate that she's a racist, but she would never have said anything to come out of her mouth to make this seem like it has something to do with the color of Maria Taylor. But because she threw in the fact that, oh, if you want to try to make up for your crappy history of diversity, that's fine. Go for it. But you're not going to do it over here. By her throwing that out, she made it seem as though Maria Taylor did not deserve the job that she's gotten. She has not earned, her keep at ESPN. She's only there because she's black. Now, Rachel Nichols, the thing that's so shaky about what she said is, number one, it's not like there's never been any blacks on that show. That show is mostly black. The NBA show during the regular season, during the front, that show consists of, Adrian Wojciechowski's on there, he's white, but Jalen Rose is on that show, and Jay Williams, they're both black. Before that show, they had Sage Steele was a female. She was a black female, kind of. Sage don't think she black, but contrary to what Sage thinks, she's black. We had Sage Steele, who's black. Jalen Rose, who's black. Paul Pierce, who's black. Chauncey Billups, who's black. And then they replaced Sage with Michelle Beadle, who's white. But the rest of the panel were black. So I really don't get why they would not. If you're speaking on a woman, then that's what you should have said. She was talking about because of all of that, meaning Black Lives Matter, social injustice, and stuff like that. That's what she mean by because of all of that. Right? So that is what makes it wrong. She's not wrong for not wanting someone to take her job. She's not wrong for wanting ESPN to honor their contract, according to what she said. This is what they told her. She's not wrong for that. But Rachel Nichols, you need to understand how hard it is to get on national television, right? Now, it's hard for men to get on national television. Imagine how hard it is for a female, a woman, to get on national television and talk about a subject that is predominantly men driven. And just think about, you're thinking about, and a lot of people that are saying, oh, this is all ESPN. This is ESPN's fault. People like Steven Jackson tried to make it. At the end of the day, Steven Jackson, regardless of whether it's ESPN's fault, Maria Taylor hears these tapes and hears these videos, and she is not thinking about it's ESPN's fault. She's thinking about her coworker who's basically saying, and then Steven Jackson, you also said it. Her coworkers who's basically saying, well, even though Steven Jackson's not her coworker, but Steven Jackson used to work for ESPN. And he knows Maria Taylor. And he's black. She's just hearing her coworkers say she basically didn't deserve the job. Regardless of what you say, that's basically what you guys are saying. She didn't deserve the job. And she only got it because they were trying to fill some sort of quota. But people are not just putting people, Rachel Nichols, we're not just putting people on TV shows, on national television, just because they're black. Maria Taylor bust her ass for the position she's in. And you being a woman should realize that. And for everyone who is now, who had something to say and is getting dragged, Kendrick Perkins and Richard Jefferson, the ones who stepped to Steven Jackson, the ones that stepped to, I'm especially talking to Richard Jefferson and Kendrick Perkins. So yeah, Kendrick, you can go on shows after the show that you were on, which I don't understand why you did that. And when they bring you on to talk about it, then you can't come on and I know Rachel Nichols for a long time, and I know she's never done nothing to me, and I know she's not racist because of this, that, and that. I mean, if you're going to attack the subject, then brother, attack the subject. Say, Rachel, do you understand the hurt and the issues and the difficulties that as a black person that we go through in this media? Do you feel that way about me, Rachel? Do you feel as though I only have this job because of my color? I mean, if you're going to talk about it, now if what you should have done is, after her apology, because she gave the apology, I would much rather have seen them go to let her do an apology, let her talk about, I understand my voice, my voice has a lot of, my voice is heavy, and it does carry a lot of weight because of how long I've been in the business. And I am extremely sorry, and I take full responsibility for everyone hearing what I said. I want to apologize to Maria Taylor and let her know that that is not the way I feel about her. I was frustrated at the situation, and I took it out on the wrong person. Maria Taylor deserves everything she's gotten since being here at ESPN. And I apologize to my African American colleagues for saying that. And then you take a commercial break, and then when you come back, you start talking basketball. That's what should have happened. But ESPN wants to throw these men in a bad spot. It had nothing to do with Richard Jefferson. It had nothing to do with Kendrick Perkins. And now they're getting dragged on social media because by mostly black people saying that they're caping for this white woman. They're caping for Rachel Nichols. Why didn't they say something at that point? That situation has nothing to do with Kendrick Perkins. But what I will say is, Kendrick, if you were going to address it, if they said you had to address it, then you might as well go all the way in and say, Rachel, I really do think that you should take time out and understand where African Americans are coming from. Don't just say, yeah, I apologize just because, it's gotten out and you want to, you just want to end it. You just want to get rid of it. Now, as we all know, or you may not know, she has been replaced by Malika Andrews, another African American female. So did Malika Andrews get the job now because of that? Rachel Nichols will not be working the sideline in the NBA, and I do believe that once this NBA Finals is over, she will either resign. She'll probably resign. They'll probably come to agreement, tell her, resign so you don't have to be fired. She'll probably resign, and they'll probably set her up at another gig, another job. She may go to Fox Sports or something. Because Fox, they don't care. All the old ESPN rejects are over at Fox Sports. But it's just, there was nothing wrong with what Rachel Nichols said. There's nothing wrong with Rachel Nichols not wanting her job to be given away to a black woman, a white woman, a green woman, anybody. But that's what Rachel should have said. That's where Rachel should have kept it. Rachel should have said, I worked too hard for this position, and I'll be damned if ESPN is going to take my position, take me and give my position to someone else. That's it. And everyone would have understood. But when you start throwing in our color, Rachel, and start saying we're only getting certain positions because of the color of our skin, that's when you're going to get an issue, and that's why you're getting dragged the way you are. So I hope I've explained this to all the people that's backing Rachel Nichols and said, wouldn't you feel the same way if they took your position from you? Absolutely. But I would not say, Rachel, how would you like it if someone said the only reason you got what you got is because you're Diane Sawyer's daughter-in-law? You wouldn't like that, would you? Oh, the only reason that she has these positions is because she's white and the owner of the company is white. That's the only reason she has this position. No one would like that because it's basically saying you don't have the qualifications to get it on your own. You have to have some sort of cheat code to get it. We don't always have to have cheat codes. And this is to all the white companies and all the white people. It's not always about affirmative action. It's not always about a Rooney Rule. It's not always about sympathy. Sometimes the best damn person for the job just happens to be black. I know white people, I know you just can't take it and can't digest that a black person might be better than you in a field, in a certain field. But it happens. Rachel Maria Taylor was better for the job than you. And she just happens to be black. It's your boy Heaven Hollywood. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.